Okay, microphone. Good morning. Good morning. There's the chat. Okay, there's the disclaimer. I'm not going to read it every day, but here's my my trading view, and let's get started. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend. I'm going to start with actually, let's bring this back up. And this is what I like to do yesterday. So obviously it'll be Friday. What worked, what didn't. I like to look at the economic calendar, 5 things to know before the open, if there are earnings before market open or after market close. And then we're going to look at higher time frame bias. Stocks are opening up a little bit lower this morning, overnight and pre-market context. And then I'm going to mark my levels. So let's get started with that. So the first thing that I'll leave it on screen. First thing I had on here was what worked and what didn't work. So the only thing I wanted to share was I only took one trade on Friday, and it was on SPY, and it was a rejection of this level here. So I've got it on Trading View. I'm on the 30-minute chart. I don't know if somebody's on mic right now. I'm hearing a bit of an echo. I don't know if somebody has their mic on. If so, if you can mute it, that'd be great. Or if you've got something to say, go for it. Okay, so this is what I took on Friday. I took it on options. Actually, can I bring that up? I took a screenshot of it. Oops, wrong one. Over here. There it is. Okay, here we go. Sorry about the delay. So this is what I was looking at here, was that we were rejecting with this long wick here. Sorry, can I make it a little bit bigger? Here we go. So rejection of the level here in probably around 10 o'clock. And rejection again, which I did not take this one. The third time around, it was making lower highs and it rejected here, and it put in the reversal candle that I like. So I went in right at the break right here. I'll show it on Trading View. I did not short SPY. I ended up buying puts right at 12. So you can see that my entry was right here on this break here, and you can tell that the move was pretty quickly. Happened very quickly. I scaled out a tiny bit here. I can explain that if somebody has a question. But then my target was PDC. So I took the majority of the position off once we hit previous day close. I did not think that this was going down all day long. This was a massive move, bought around 115 and sold around 415. So a $3 move on options. For those who know options, that's a massive, massive move. And then I got out my remaining position over here as it looked like it was making new highs. And it just, once it broke over here, I figured, you know what, I may as well take off the remaining position. So that's what worked on Friday. I have it over here on Trading View. This is a 30-minute time frame, not what I was trading, but I was looking at the rejection on the 30-minute. Okay, so because it's already 9:21, it took me a little bit for that. Let's look at what I had here. Economic calendar, which I have not looked at. Well, I have looked at it, but I did not look at the one that I like to look at every morning. So not that much as far as a couple Fed speakers. There's nothing that's highly likely to move the markets. Then the 5 things to know, I think I'll skip that today. And then earnings. Today, it doesn't seem to be much. The only earnings that I'm absolutely looking at are aftermarket close on Wednesday. I think everybody's waiting for NVIDIA to report earnings. So let's look at the higher time frame. Here's the 30-minute chart on Apple. It is at, I put this purple level here. It's a rectangle box that extends to the right. It is an interesting level. It is in a buying range. When we're in a higher range with the Camarillas, S3 becomes a possible buy point. So this is something I'm absolutely going to be looking at this morning. If it does come below and sweeps below here to take out stops and then show strength, it could be a buy, but there is possible resistance up here, and I already have an alert up there. Let me set the alert here on Apple, move it up a tiny bit because I want to be alerted before it gets there. And then there's a higher time frame area of support down here. And I could put a rectangle here as well, because this area right here is also interesting. So those are the levels I'm looking at on Apple. I'm not planning on doing, it's Monday morning, so I'm not planning on doing anything. Highly likely I take anything in the first half hour. AMD. 30-minute time frame. AMD has room to the left down here. So we touched here and gap down in pre-market. I could put a rectangle here as well. Right around here. Right, that's an interesting area over here. If it dips down here, there's no room to the left. Market will be uncomfortable. Likely to see some buying or some selling over here, but there is definitely a higher time frame area of possible support right here. I will take away this alert. I'll delete that one that I had there, and I will put an alert down here. It's likely to come and get triggered right away. I will be looking at AMD at the open. And then some of these lines here I can remove. You know what, this one I'll leave there. And then this was from Thursday, and then moving right along. If anybody has questions, please don't hesitate to stop me and let me know. Big gap up on Friday on Amazon. It is pulling back a bit. However, there's not enough room to the left for me to take a trade on this. However, I will put a rectangle right here. This is definitely an area of possible support. It was resistance there, and again, but then it punched through it, and then it became support. So this rectangle here will likely be an area of support, and if it's not, it could become an area of resistance again. Google, 30-minute time frame. Not quite sure why those are popping up. And there we go. Google, there is room to the left. We will likely be uncomfortable at the open in this area. This was an area of chop in this area, and then we rejected on the way down. There is a higher time frame, 30-minute fair value gap up here. So let's draw a rectangle here. I like this area right around here, pretty much where it is right now. It is in a higher time frame, so the short at R3 is not necessarily where, but R3 is an area of possible short. I'm curious to see what Google will do. Again, it needs to show me what it's doing. Are we buying or are we selling? But it is in an area that I like to watch because there is a lot of room to the left, which means the market has not been here in a while and is likely to feel uncomfortable. Meta, 30-minute. Meta's in this large area that I had drawn a long time ago. This was from just before earnings, and then in earnings, we had gapped down, and then Meta has been very difficult to read lately. However, wherever it is right now, there's no room to the left to the downside. There's no room to the left above, so I have no plays. Microsoft, there's definitely room to the left here. Let's put a rectangle right around here. S4 could be an area of buying. I am going to take this out because I don't want too much on my, actually, I'll leave this one here because it touched it here, and then was possible resistance this morning. So if there were to be a long, this could definitely be an area to aim for. I will not necessarily put an alert on Microsoft right now because it's likely to trigger right at the open. So I'll be watching this level. We'll see what happens in the first half hour. NVIDIA, difficult to trade in earnings week. Let's look at the higher time frame. So this was a level that we had up here for possible support resistance, and then it was resistance this morning, but we have punched through it and closed the candle above it. So is it going to become support now? We'll see what happens at the open. I'm not likely to trade NVIDIA until after earnings. But this is an area where there is room to the left. So it's an area where we're going to see some movement. Tesla on the 30-minute. We'll get rid of this line here. I don't remember why these were here, so let's take them off. There was a level of support. I could draw a rectangle here. So this wick right here, there you go. So we wicked and then closed above it, but then came down into it a few times. This I think was another trade that I was looking at. I don't have time to look at it right now. I'll leave it here to see on the 5-minute time frame. It might have put in a 5-minute kangaroo tail, and this might have been something that I was looking at. I know I did not take it. The only trade I took was the SPY puts on Friday, which were profitable. This area right here will be an area of interest. There is room to the left, especially down below this level here. I will put an alert around 40572. And moving on to the Qs on the 30-minute. Qs are difficult to trade in this level. However, at the top here, I do have a large rectangle here. Actually, I'll remove it and I'll put it over here instead, just so that we see where we've actually put the rectangle. There it is. So this area right here is very interesting. If we punch into this area and we have trouble and we reject right at the top here, it could be an area of rejection. Or if we punch up with some momentum, it could be an area of breaking out and retesting. As far as down below, there is not really a lot of room to the left, right? So I don't see anything up there or down there, unless we come all the way down here. I had an alert all the way down here that never triggered. I will move it over here. This could be later on an area of support because look to the left. There is a lot of room here. Market will be uncomfortable in this area. Market has opened. So for those of you who are trading the open, good luck. Have a great week. And here's a 30-minute on SPY. SPY, I've got an alert already. It is above this level. This is where we're likely to have difficulty punching through. However, very strong right now. We are closing the gap from the open right now. It's happening pretty quickly. I will be looking at SPY over here, but like I said, Monday morning, I want to see where the market is headed. Let's look at the 5-minute time frame. Let's look at time in sales. I have it on SPY right now. And there you go. That's all I've got for now. We've got a nice big green candle on Apple. Apple above here could reject. I will put an alert. I've got alerts on DOS as well as on TradingView. And my platform is locked for the first little while. SPY seems to be, there's my alert on AMD. The alert I had was for down here. There's a lot of room to the left. We have taken out liquidity down below here. There's the alert on Tesla. So some are moving up, some are down. There's that NVIDIA punching up that I said it could continue or it could reject this level. If it were to come down below 191.15 in or near this candle, it could be in a rejection area, right? We might be getting a lot of stops up here.
Above alert.
That's Apple. Apple's ripping. I don't know if there's news on Apple. Let me look at Apple. If somebody knows if there's news, it'd be great to share. 7 hours ago. Yeah, I don't see anything. I'll be right back. All right, so Tesla, are we going to see some buying here? Apple, now that it's broken out here, will it come down here and retest, or it could absolutely reject that level? AMD, there's definitely room to the left. Are buyers stepping in? Or are we going to come back in for the break and retest? Arvol on SPY is at 60, which is low. Meta 59, Apple 55. This is a surprising move on low Arvol. What does volume look like on Apple? Relatively speaking, it's pretty normal. Actually, it's a little bit low for the open at 1.3 million shares. Personally, I don't like the long on Apple right now, but it could come down and retest and go long. My students know that I only have 3 setups that I take: the break and retest, which I will take long or short, the kangaroo tail, which I will take long or short, and then double top, double bottom. The SPY trade I took on Friday was actually a triple top, but it fit my criteria for rejection of the high, so that's why I took it. I would love for this to, so what I'm looking at on SPY here is for it to consolidate here, possibly break up above 690 and reject, or consolidate here, break up above 690 and continue. So that's why I don't trade the first 5 minutes. It's so difficult to know. I don't scalp. I'm not looking at, taking 50 cents out. Interesting candle on AMD. This is similar to, or it's close to looking to the king, or as the kangaroo tail. The wick is 2/3 or more of the candle. It is at a level. It needs to close for it to be a kangaroo tail long. It needs to close near the top. Well, this candle did not. It closed near the bottom. I don't like that it closed red. I do like that it took liquidity below this. But it does not meet my criteria. It would have to, if it were green, it would have to break the high of the candle. And I like it when it happens quickly, but I wouldn't take it because it is right underneath a large psychological number of 200, which is also PDC. So I wait. Apple definitely has liquidity above 260, well, whatever this candle is here. What's the high? 260. I need to zoom in. Right here, the high is 266.82. Oh, you know what? Let's put a level there. There we go. So how do we react to this level of 266.82 area? That's what I'd like to know. Alert on SPY, yes, because it is approaching this high. So what is this high of 690? Did we hit 690 on SPY? What am I on here? Oh, SPY, we just touched 690. So what happens here? So we close the pre-market gap on SPY, not quite on Qs yet. Since I'm just standing here, I'm going to do like I usually do and just walk. Very tight range on Google. A lot of selling on Apple, or sorry, on Microsoft. Tesla. Definitely looks like there's might be support over here, but just the way the candle is forming, I was just going to say it's going to break down below. I do not trust the selling on SPY because there is liquidity above 690. So that's personally why I won't look at it yet. I've got a higher time frame level on Tesla where it is now. Got some selling in Qs and SPY. What I was going to say earlier about the 5 things to know is that what I was reading is that the tariff uncertainty is possibly moving the markets. And then that Trump is planning on new tariffs. And then I've already talked about NVIDIA having their earnings on Wednesday, which might have an impact on the markets on Wednesday after the market close. A lot of stuff happening that could have an impact on where we're headed. Somewhat of a tight range in Google. We'll set an alert. If we come below this level here, we might see either a rejection, as in it might we might buy at this level, or we might break down below and then retest. Interesting level on the Qs, pre-market low. Interesting candle on AMD. This kangaroo tail here did not close green, but then we consolidated a bit for a few minutes. And then we're putting in another long tail wick candle, which means that there is buying, there is support here. Not quite sure what that's going to mean. A lot of selling on Tesla. So this area was, we're looking at Qs now. Let's go full screen. This area here was support midday after that big sell. I showed it on SPY, but the same thing happened on Qs. This was actually a really good double top on the Qs. But this was an area of support. It was also pre-market low. It is also where we are right now. So as far as room to the left, yes, we were there, but it was in the early morning of the previous trading day. So this candle forming here on Qs could be very telling. Hard to go long after a massive drop like this. So we might just be retesting this break, but we didn't really break down below this level with a big momentum candle, right? We found support here. I don't like going, if it prints a kangaroo tail, it will match some of my criteria, but I don't like that it came right after a big, what, $3 move. Break and retest on Apple looks very interesting. Strong breakout. Retested at the level. If it closes a strong bullish candle here, I might be interested, especially if we see actual support in Qs and SPY. Not that I have to have that, but I don't like RVOL at 49% on Apple, so not taking it. Could work, but according to my rules, I need to have above 80% RVOL, preferably above 85. NVIDIA showing a nice pattern for the break and retest. Breaking. There's definitely room to the left. NVIDIA is above R4. I'm curious to know if this candle closes bullish. Look at the tape of NVIDIA, considering that's what we're looking at. Very balanced right now. So that candle did not close bullish. Talking about the last 5-minute candle right here. NVIDIA does have the RVOL that I need. What does it do at 193? There's a large order, 34,000, 35,000 shares at 193. Yeah, we're going to grab the 193. And then what does it do? $193 seems to be holding. Definitely shaping up as a break and retest. AMD seems to be breaking out of that range. See, even though they closed red, especially this second candle right here, closed red, but then once we broke up above it, just punched right up. But I don't like that the fact that to go long, that PDC is right above. Okay. If anybody has questions, please don't hesitate or tell me what it is you're looking at. It can be in the chat.
I'm looking for a short on the Nasdaq. Look,
On the NQ?
yeah.
And good morning, by the way.
Good morning. I came in late. You were already started, guys. So
That's
and
okay.
I'm looking for a retest on gold, but gold is just a monster today.
Let's bring up gold futures.
GC.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the move this morning. That's only a 30-minute. What is
Yeah. Did you see that, Oliver?
morning? Yeah, nice push on gold from Friday. Consolidated a bit here and then just pushed off. What I've got R3 on this chart right here might be a higher time frame level. Yeah, for me, I wanted to, considering it's Monday morning, I wanted to see what the first half hour gave us. Yeah, Oliver, did you take something on gold? No. Always nice after the fact, right? You can see it, and it's like, gosh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yep. Very tight range on Google. Very mellow. What do we got? See, with 100% R-ball, which is a little bit odd. There's what is this? Are we accumulating? I don't know. I didn't see any pertinent news coming out of 10, but I will wait for the 10 a.m. Candle. For my setups on Qs and SPY, they've been happening way more later on in the day. Suzanne Apple short, if it stays under 265, could be under 265. See, it definitely seems like it's finding resistance here. Thanks for sharing. Get that massive hand out of there. There we go. Yeah, we've got what was this? What was this level here? It's yesterday high. Yeah, the low of this candle, 264.20. We see selling below 264.20. I don't know. Right? It's definitely punched up massively and now making new lows, but it's consolidating in this area. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this at the break below 264 here. Definitely hanging around PDC. Forgot I need to put this to quiet down this chair. We definitely haven't chosen a direction yet. What I am curious about is a possible double top on NVIDIA here. All right, what's the high of this candle? 193.40. 193.40, right? This was the high of this one was 193.40. High of this one's 193.40. So we've got a seller at 193.40. What do we got? I need to hit the print screen to slow this down. So 193.35, 36. There's definitely some orders here, but the book does seem heavier on the bid. It's pretty balanced. And on the higher time frame on NVIDIA, yeah, it's in between R6 and R4. It's not ideal, not an ideal place to short. Excuse me, I don't like the idea of the short over here yet. As far as a double top, Airbnb down 5%. American Express down 5%. We've got a couple green, NVIDIA, Google, Apple, but also a lot of red and a lot of selling. Yeah, we're still chopping around here on that Apple trade that Suzanne called out. It hasn't picked a direction yet. It definitely does seem to have found support at PDC. Right, there's a couple small green candles, but this is a very bullish candle right here.
Above alert.
Oh, that was NVIDIA. I want to see if it broke the 193.40. And then I want to see how it reacts to 193.40. So let's put NVIDIA on the tape here. Do we buy 193.40? $44, and then rejecting. There's a seller there. 193.40 area. What do the puts look like on this thing? Going to happen while I'm calculating here. That was a that was an interesting bearish candle on the 1 minute here. Very micro movements. But for where we are right now, I want to see it on the 5 minute. Actually, let's bring it up. Maybe not full screen, but there we go. So this is the only thing I'm looking at right now. Seems to be rejecting this level right here. Oh. Up and quickly, I was looking at the options, the put options.
They fly down the put options.
The put options just flew 20 cents, and I was just thinking of getting in. I don't like that it's right above R4. That's just, it's not ideal. There we go. So instead of, what does it do at the low of 192.32? Yeah, NVIDIA rejecting the highs here is what I was looking at, but it wasn't an ideal structure. I'm very, very picky. And I took 3 trades last week. It's just I didn't see a lot of my setups. My first 2 trades were -1. And then my third trade was a great move on SPY puts, which put me green on the week. So you don't need to take 100 trades. See, we're right at the low over here. Let's go full screen again. All right, taking the short here when there was buying right at this level here, right at 192, came down here. What's it going to do at 192? And then if it does punch down below 192, then we're probably expected to find support around 191.50. Right, that's 50 cents. Is that enough? For me, it isn't. For a scalper with a large account, because especially if you're doing it on equities, you need a very large account to be able to make money on 50 cents. Then yes, it works. Or if you're taking it on options, but I didn't like how it's set up. On options, it went from my entry was 91 cents and it went up to 135. So on options, let's just say that's 45 cents. But every option contract is times 100. So yeah, it might have been beneficial. 5. Yeah, 10 contracts would have been around $440. 100 contracts, obviously, if you're going larger, it's $4,400 in just that little drop there. But then your risk is 2,000. The way that I calculate it. I was going to share it, but you know what? I do have I have another version that I can share if anybody's ever interested in seeing my my options calculator. There's a bit of a breakdown in NVIDIA. So those options now, 91 cents. They make it to 180. They're at 151 right now. That'll be 100% move. The power of options is incredible. Not a lot of room to the left on Google. Even if it does come down below PDC, we're just there on Friday. So when we talk about the room to the left, we're meaning that, you know what, there's a likely support in these areas because there were buyers here. SPY, same thing. The area of support was around 684. Now let's just take this one and bring it up here. So if we were to wick down below 684 and put in a kangaroo tail type candle, then I would be interested. Has to be at a level. And this is a level. 684 here is a level. We broke out, touched it. And then after this big drop here, this was PDC from the previous day. Right? And come over here. This was the close. Right? So it's an obvious level. So until it comes down here, I do nothing other than watch and explain what it is that I'm seeing in candles And after 10:30, I'm going to set up a couple alerts on TradingView because I get them on my watch or on my iPad, and do other work. Right? Just watching every candle can be, unless you're learning. If you're one of my students and you're learning this stuff, then you should be watching the formation of candles, and seeing what the market does when these candles form. A lot of people might be shorting NVIDIA here, but this is where it broke out. Right? Broke out, strong breakout, coming down here and retesting this level. Right where it is right now. Very curious to see what's going to happen. Our buyer's going to step in again. 191 area. The options that I was looking at, I'll take a picture of the screen here. There you go. That's what I was looking at here, right here on the break of this candle here at 91. And we just went up 100% from 91 here. Just waked up. So 100% move on options is pretty damn good. But unfortunately, I didn't take it. I say unfortunately, but I have no regrets because it didn't set up properly for me. Just to bring it back though, especially for a few of my students are learning options at 191, or sorry, at 91 cents here on that punch up. The stop would have been at 71, so 20 cents below. But as soon as it punched up, it never came down anywhere near the entry. So this is what I talk about when I talk about gradual entries. Right? You can get in with your stop at 71, but once you see that it is punching up, it is possible, especially when we see that we're consolidating over here. Once we broke out again above here, then you can add into the position and then just take off, right? You're not looking at staying in this all day. Just trying to grab the most out of that 100% move. "15 more minutes and I'm going to log off." One of these days we should have and good for you, Oliver, for the prop account. Be nice to have a conversation about prop firms. I've never traded them. However, I do have some students that are interested, so I'd be curious to talk to uh, those of you who are involved in with prop firms.
Oliver is your man. You have a lot of knowledge about prop firms.
That'd be great. Would you be willing to have a talk one of these days, Oliver? No pressure. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Oliver. I'll contact you later on today and see if we could sit down for, I don't know how long it'll take. Obviously, I'm not a newbie. I have traded futures before. I've just never tried the prop firm route. And I'd be willing to try it, and I try everything. The only thing I haven't traded is Forex, and I will, because I want to be knowledgeable in everything there is in every product. Um, However, I'm not in a hurry with Forex. I will be getting back into futures in the next little while. So I don't see much happening right now. Like I said, I put that level at 684 area. Again, repeating, when I put a line over here, it doesn't mean it's at 684.04 exactly. I mean, you can zoom out 30-minute time frame. Right, 684 was the area. I think it was the close. I don't remember why I had 684. Was it the close? Or 684.50 was the close on Friday, maybe? Right around here? Or on Thursday, I mean? This area might be interesting here. It was definitely the low of Friday. I don't know why the notifications are making that sound today. They don't usually. This I'm watching NVIDIA here. Very interesting levels for the possible breakout. Pull back, retest. I'm not seeing the buying that I like to see. Curious to see how this candle closes on NVIDIA for the break and retest. Above 191.72 would be interesting. Added to the short on NQ. So 72 is broken. But we haven't closed the candle. Close this candle and then make a new high. Could shape up as a break and retest. High is 85 now. You were saying you were short NQ.
I shorted the NQ on reverse ABCD.
Yeah.
And then I took a partial when it hit the low of the day, 868. And then I added a contract, but thinking that, okay, it might keep going down to test lows of the day. And let's see how it will go from here. It's just sideways.
Yeah. Yeah. What do the Qs look like? Yeah, they're chopping in this area here. Possible area of support near S4 on NQ. S4 is down here. We didn't touch it. It's definitely a level here. Right there, and then above it, but then we chopped around it. So interesting level there. Yeah, did not make a new high on NVIDIA. Right, this was the bullish candle that I was looking at. 191.85. Did not, next candle did not break that high. So for me, for the break and retest, it needs to break out with momentum, come down, it retested, needs to put in at the level or near the level, needs to put in a bullish candle, 5 minute, 1 minute, depending on what time frame I'm looking at. Over here, I was looking at the 5. It did put in a bullish 5 minute, but did not break the high. And now the longer that it chops over here and makes a new bottom, the less I feel convinced that we're actually finding support here. The SPY seems to be putting wicks below pre-market low. The 684 area here is very interesting to me. Right, it's a low on the previous day low. We're going to find some buying at this level, maybe. Or if it punches through it with momentum, then I will look at the retest for the move lower. It has moved quite a bit though, 690, already $6 move. Yeah, not seeing much right now. NVIDIA does seem to have buying around the 191 area. So that's pretty much all I'm looking at right now. It is 10:30, so I'm going to log off. Hopefully you guys are seeing more than I am. I am limited because these are the only 10 tickers that I watch, but that's okay. That's all I need. So hopefully this was beneficial. And if you have any questions, comments, please don't hesitate to bring them tomorrow. All right. Thanks, gang.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. See ya.